Keisha's knees hit the cold marble floor. Her fingers were bleeding, but she kept scrubbing. Inside the Kang family mansion, she wasn't treated like a fiancée. She was treated like a maid. High heels clicked behind her. Keisha looked up. Madame Suyeon stood there holding a glass of red wine. The richest woman in the Kang family, the queen of the mansion. She stared at Keisha with disgust, then smiled. Not a friendly smile, a cruel one. She lifted the wine glass. Keisha blinked, confused. Splash. The wine poured over Keisha's head. It ran down her face, into her eyes, down her neck, soaking her dress like blood. The room filled with laughter. Madame Suyeon bent close and whispered, "Caribbean girl, you don't belong here." Keisha's lips trembled, her chest tightened, but she didn't cry, she only whispered, "You'll regret this." Madame Suyeon smirked. Regret. Then the mansion door opened. Heavy footsteps echoed through the hall. A deep voice thundered, "What is going on here?"
What's going on here?
Everyone froze. Chairman Kang Di-sung had returned, the billionaire father. But before we continue, please subscribe now to this channel, as it is the only way to encourage us. Chairman Kang stepped forward, his eyes locked on Keisha, wine dripping from her hair, her knees bruised, her hands shaking. Then he turned to Madame Suyeon.
Who did this to her?
His voice dropped low,
did this to
deadly. Who did this to her?
She was disrespectful.
Nobody answered. Chairman Kang
did
took
this
another
to
step
her?
forward.
Who did this to her?
I said, who did this to her?
She was disrespectful.
Madame
to me.
Suyeon forced a smile.
She was
Honey, she was being
disrespectful to me.
disrespectful. Chairman Kang snapped, "Shut up." He walked toward Keisha slowly. Keisha tried to stand, but her legs were weak. Chairman Kang reached out his hand. "Stand up." Keisha hesitated, then grabbed his hand. Chairman Kang pulled her up himself. He looked around the room. From today, anyone who humiliates this girl will lose everything. 2 years earlier, Keisha Brown left Kingston, Jamaica, and moved to South Korea. She didn't come chasing rich men. She came chasing a future. Keisha was a makeup artist, talented, hardworking, quiet. She worked in a fashion studio in Seoul, long hours, small pay, but she never complained. One rainy evening, she was rushing home. Her bag slipped from her shoulder. Her makeup tools scattered across the road. Cars passed. People walked by. Nobody stopped. Keisha knelt in the rain, picking up her brushes with shaking hands. Then someone stepped closer. A man. He knelt beside her and picked up her tools gently. He handed them to her carefully. His voice was calm. "Are you okay?" Keisha looked up. Tall, handsome, simple clothes, no designer watch, no flashy car. Keisha nodded. "Yes, thank you." He smiled. "You're not Korean." Keisha laughed softly. "Is it that obvious?" He replied, "Your accent." Keisha smiled. "And your kindness." That was the first day she met Kang Junho. They started talking, then texting, then meeting after work, then sharing meals. Junho wasn't loud, he wasn't arrogant, he was gentle, and he treated Keisha like she mattered. Whenever people stared at her skin in public, Junho stared back. Whenever someone mocked her accent, he defended her. One day Keisha asked him, "Why do you always defend me?" Junho looked at her and said, "Because you're the only person who makes me feel human." Keisha didn't fully understand, but she felt something real. Slowly, she fell in love. Months passed, their love grew deeper. Then one night, Junho took her to the Han River. City lights danced on the water. Keisha hugged herself because of the cold. Junho removed his jacket and placed it on her shoulders. Keisha smiled. "You'll freeze." Junho replied, "I'd rather freeze than see you cold." Keisha laughed. Then he became quiet. He held her hands tightly. His voice shook. "Keisha." Keisha looked up. "What is it?" Junho took a deep breath, then went down on one knee. Keisha froze. Her heart jumped. Junho said, "I know the world may not accept us, but I don't care. I don't want anyone else. Marry me." Keisha's mouth opened. She couldn't speak. Tears filled her eyes. She whispered, Are you sure? Junho nodded. I've never been more sure. Keisha smiled and said, yes. Junho stood up and hugged her. Keisha felt safe. She thought she had found her forever. She didn't know she had just walked into the most dangerous family in Korea. 2 weeks later, Junho told her he wanted her to meet his family. Keisha became nervous. Are they nice? Junho hesitated. Then he said, it might be difficult, but I'll protect you. That morning, a black luxury car arrived. Keisha was surprised. This car is for you. Junho stayed quiet. The car drove far, then stopped in front of a massive gate. Security guards everywhere. The gate opened slowly. Inside was a mansion, a palace. Keisha's heart sank. She turned to Junho. Where are we? Junho sighed. This is my home. Keisha stared at him. What do you mean? Junho looked away. Keisha, I didn't tell you everything. Keisha's stomach tightened. Junho continued. My father is Chairman Kang Di-sung. Keisha froze. That name, she had seen it online, on business news, on magazines. Chairman Kang Di-sung, owner of Kang Global Holdings, one of the richest men in Korea. Keisha stared at Junho like she didn't know him. So you lied to me. Junho shook his head. I didn't lie, I hid it. I wanted you to love me for me. Keisha swallowed hard. She wasn't angry. She was afraid. Because rich families didn't accept outsiders, and she was not just an outsider, she was a Caribbean woman. The moment Keisha stepped out of the car, maids bowed. Guards stared. Then the front door opened. A woman stepped out. Designer dress, diamond earrings, perfect makeup, sharp eyes, cold smile. Junho whispered, That's Madame Suyeon, my stepmother. Madame Suyeon walked toward Keisha slowly. Her eyes scanned Keisha from head to toe. Then she smiled, a mocking smile. She said, So this is her. She turned to Junho. This is what you brought into our family. Junho replied, She's my fiancée. Madame Suyeon laughed softly. Then she looked at Keisha. Do you know what kind of family this is? Keisha bowed politely. Good evening, ma'am. It's an honor to meet you. Madame Suyeon ignored the greeting. She leaned closer and whispered, You don't belong here. Then she walked inside. Keisha followed slowly, her heart heavy. That night, they had dinner. A long table, gold plates, crystal glasses, expensive food. Keisha sat beside Junho. Nobody welcomed her. They stared at her like she was an animal. One cousin whispered loudly, Is this a joke? Another replied, Maybe he lost his mind. Then Madame Suyeon raised her glass. In this family, we respect tradition. She looked directly at Keisha. We don't mix bloodlines with outsiders. The table went silent. Keisha's chest tightened. Junho slammed his chopsticks down. Enough. Madame Suyeon acted innocent. I'm just stating the truth. Then she snapped her fingers. A maid came forward, holding a bowl of soup. Madame Suyeon pointed at Keisha. Serve everyone. Keisha froze. Junho stood up. She's not a maid. Madame Suyeon replied, Then she can leave. Keisha swallowed hard. She didn't want trouble. So she stood up and served the soup quietly. When she reached Madame Suyeon, the woman moved her hand slightly. The soup spilled on Keisha's wrist. Keisha gasped. It burned. Madame Suyeon didn't apologize. She only said, Clumsy. Keisha's eyes watered, but she held it in. She returned to her seat. Junho whispered, I'm sorry. Keisha forced a smile. It's okay. But deep inside, Keisha felt something breaking. The days that followed became worse. They gave Keisha the smallest room. No heater, no comfort. The maids ignored her. The cousins mocked her accent. Sometimes, they didn't even serve her breakfast. Keisha started losing weight. She started losing sleep. One afternoon, Keisha walked down the hallway and overheard them talking. An aunt said, Black girls are always desperate. He probably came to trap him. Then Madame Suyon spoke. We don't even know what kind of dirty life she lived before coming here. Keisha froze. Her heart cracked. She walked into the room, her voice shaking. What did you just say? Madame Suyon smiled. If it's not true, why are you offended? Keisha clenched her fists. She wanted to scream, but she didn't. She turned around and walked away. That night, Junho found her crying quietly. He held her tightly. I'm sorry, I promise I'll protect you. Keisha whispered, I left my country for you, I left my family, please don't let them destroy me. Junho kissed her forehead, I won't. But Keisha didn't know Madame Suyon was already planning something worse. One night, a maid knocked on Keisha's door. Madame Suyon wants to see you downstairs. Keisha sighed and followed. When she entered the living room, she froze. Everyone was there. Cousins, aunties, security guards, family assistant. Madame Suyon stood in the center. On the table was a jewelry box. Madame Suyon opened it. Inside was an empty space. Madame Suyon spoke dramatically. My diamond necklace is missing. Keisha frowned. So? Madame Suyon pointed at her. You stole it. Keisha's heart stopped. What? Keisha stepped back. I didn't steal anything. Madame Suyon snapped her fingers. Search her bag. Keisha shouted, No, don't touch my things. But the guards didn't care. One guard grabbed her bag, opened it, and inside was the necklace. Keisha froze, her eyes widened. No, that's not mine. The room exploded. She's a thief. Disgrace. Kick her out. Madame Suyon shouted, I warned you, foreigners cannot be trusted. Keisha's tears fell. She stared at Madame Suyon and saw the truth, that small, wicked smile. She had been framed. Then the door opened. Junho walked in, confused. What's happening? Madame Suyon cried fake tears. She stole my necklace. Keisha shouted, she planted it. Junho looked at Keisha, then asked quietly, Did you steal it? Keisha whispered, Never. Junho turned to his family. Then she didn't. The cousins gasped. Madame Suyon walked close to Keisha and whispered, I will destroy you. The next day, Madame Suyon made sure Keisha suffered. She gathered the maids. Keisha will clean the mansion today. Keisha protested, I'm not a maid. Madame Suyon replied, Then leave. Keisha swallowed hard. Leaving meant losing Junho. So she stayed. She cleaned for hours. Scrubbed floors, washed bathrooms, carried heavy buckets. Her knees hurt, her fingers bled, her back ached. The family watched her like she was entertainment. Then when Keisha was on her knees in the living room, Madame Suyon walked in holding red wine. Keisha looked up, tired. Madame Suyon smiled. Look at you, this is where you belong. Then she poured the wine on Keisha's head. The family laughed. Madame Suyon whispered, Caribbean girl, you don't belong here. Keisha's lips trembled. She refused to cry. She whispered, You'll regret this. Madame Suyon smirked. Then the mansion door opened. Heavy footsteps echoed. A deep voice thundered, What is going on here? The laughter died
What's
instantly.
going on here?
Chairman Kang walked in. Tall, cold eyes, black suit. The entire mansion bowed. Madame Suyon hid the wine glass behind her. But Chairman Kang saw Keisha, on her knees, soaked, trembling. He walked toward her slowly. His eyes caught the bracelet on her wrist, beads, Caribbean colors. Chairman Kang's face changed. He asked, Where did you get that bracelet? Keisha whispered, My mother gave it to me. Chairman Kang's voice became sharp. What is your mother's name? Keisha replied, Marcia Brown. Chairman Kang froze. His lips trembled. Marcia. Madame Suyon frowned. Honey, what is happening? Chairman Kang ignored her. He stared at Keisha like he was seeing a ghost. Then he said, Your mother saved my life." Everyone gasped. Junho walked in behind his father. "Father," Chairman Kang spoke slowly. "Years ago I traveled abroad for business. I was attacked. I was robbed. I was bleeding. I was left to die." He pointed at Keisha. "Her mother found me. She hid me. She treated me. She fed me." Chairman Kang turned to Madame Suyeon. His eyes became dark. "Get away from her."
Who did this to her?
Madame
Who
Suyeon
did
forced a
this to her?
smile. "Honey, she was disrespectful."
Was disrespectful.
Chairman Kang shouted, "Shut up."
Who did this
The
to
whole
her?
mansion went
Who
silent.
did this to her?
Chairman Kang walked to Keisha.
She was disrespectful.
He reached out his hand. "Stand up." Keisha tried, but her knees were weak. Chairman Kang helped her up himself. Then he wiped the wine from her hair. And he said, "This girl is not your servant. This girl is not your slave." He looked at everyone. "From today, Keisha is under my protection." Madame Suyeon's face turned pale. She stepped back. "No, honey, please." Chairman Kang ignored her. He turned to the guards. "Bring everyone to the living room." Minutes later, everyone sat down like criminals. Chairman Kang stood in front of them. "I have cameras in this mansion." Madame Suyeon froze. Chairman Kang snapped his fingers. A guard brought a tablet. Chairman Kang pressed play. The video showed everything. Keisha cleaning, Keisha being insulted, Keisha being mocked, Madame Suyeon pouring wine on her. When the video ended, Chairman Kang turned to Madame Suyeon. "You humiliated the daughter of the woman who saved my life." Madame Suyeon dropped to her knees. "Please forgive me." Chairman Kang replied, "You are no longer my wife." The room gasped. Madame Suyeon screamed. Chairman Kang continued, "Pack your things. You will leave this mansion tonight." Madame Suyeon begged. But the guards grabbed her arms and dragged her away. She screamed Junho's name. But nobody helped her. Chairman Kang turned to Keisha. His voice softened. "Forgive me." Keisha stared at him. She couldn't speak. Chairman Kang bowed his head slightly. Then he turned to the family. "Anyone who supported this humiliation will leave this mansion." The cousins panicked. The aunties started crying. But Chairman Kang didn't care. This house will not be ruled by cruelty again. That night, Junho found Keisha outside in the garden. His eyes were red. "Keisha, I'm sorry." Keisha looked at him. "Sorry doesn't remove shame." Junho fell to his knees. "I didn't know it was this bad." Keisha replied, "You didn't know because you didn't watch." Junho cried, "Please don't leave me." Keisha stared at him. "I endured because I loved you." Junho held her hands. "I will protect you from now on." Keisha nodded slowly. The next day, Chairman Kang called Keisha into his private office. He told her the full truth. Years ago, he traveled for business. He was attacked, he was robbed, he was bleeding, he collapsed. Then a Caribbean woman found him. She hid him in her home, she treated his wounds, she fed him, she protected him. That woman was Marcia Brown. Chairman Kang said, "I offered her money. She refused. She said she saved me because I was human." Keisha's eyes filled with tears. Chairman Kang continued, "That day I promised myself, if I ever met her child, I would treat her as my own." Weeks later, the wedding happened. The entire country talked about it. The heir of Kang, global, marrying a Caribbean woman. Keisha walked into the wedding hall like royalty. Her dress was stunning. Her hair was perfect. Her mother flew in from Jamaica. Celebrities, politicians, and businessmen stood up. Junho waited at the altar with tears in his eyes. When Keisha reached him, he whispered, "I will spend my whole life making it up to you." Keisha nodded. Then Chairman Kang stood up. He raised his glass. "This woman is not an outsider. This woman is family." He paused. "Her mother saved my life. Anyone who disrespects her disrespects me." The hall went silent. Then applause exploded. Keisha and Junho kissed. After the wedding, Chairman Kang called Keisha privately. He handed her a file. Keisha opened it. It was a company ownership document. Chairman Kang said, "You are now a shareholder in Kang Global Holdings." Keisha gasped. Chairman Kang continued, "This is repayment." Then he added, "Soo-yeon has been stealing company funds for years. She will be arrested, and you will replace her position." Keisha's heartbeat changed. She thought of the wine, the humiliation, the insults. Now she was about to sit on the same throne. Keisha nodded slowly. "I accept." Months later, the media exploded. Madame Soo-yeon was arrested. Her crimes were exposed. Her accounts were frozen. Her name was destroyed. The woman who once acted like a queen was now begging like a criminal. And Keisha became one of the most respected women in Korea. She opened a charity foundation. She helped immigrants, helped poor students, helped women who were mistreated. Reporters asked her, "How did you survive the Kang mansion?" Keisha replied, "I refused to break." Because the woman they humiliated became the woman they feared. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe, like, and comment your favorite part. More stories are coming.